Hi there, welcome to Live Stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are going to be playing with fire using an energetic confidence building sequence. As always, I'd like you to play where you're comfortable, modifying where you need to, and taking a time out by either coming to stand at the top end of your mat in Tadasana, mountain, standing up nice and tall, tucking your tailbone under and floating your fingertips softly alongside the body. Alternatively, find your way into child pose, Tadasana, setting yourself up at the bottom end of your mat, big toes together, knees softly splayed out, extending the arms softly in front of you, or wrapping them alongside the body. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat. I'd like you to find your way into corpse pose, Shavasana, lying on the back. So sit yourself down on the mat, sitting yourself up more or less in the middle of your mat. Ease your way onto the back. Legs softly extended in front, rotate the inner thighs out. Allow the big toes to connect to the corners of the mat. Arms at your sides, palms up. Close your eyes and take your focus in. Start connecting to the sound of your breath. Don't try and control it. Just notice the gentle inhalation and exhalation and get into a steady one-to-one rhythm of breathing in and out. Put your to-do list for today one side, and for the next 45 minutes or so, I just want you to focus on what's happening on your mat within your body. Bring your attention to your belly button or your navel. That's going to be the energy center that we're focusing on today, your Manipuraka chakra, the seat of your confidence and your ego. We're going to be building up a little fire, firing up your confidence for the remainder of today. With that thought, gently open the eyes, keep them soft and unfocused, and take a little stretch. Maybe interlacing the hands, inverting them and pushing them overhead as you brace and kick into your feet, taking a nice little stretch and lengthening as much as you can, maybe wiggling side to side as you try to get additional length up the side of your body. Then take it into a little Pavanmuktasana by squeezing your knees in towards your chest on the exhale. Inhale to allow the knees to draw away. Exhale through the mouth as you hug the knees in towards the chest. So giving me a nice little cleansing breath, and at the same time getting a soft little rocking motion going in the lower back. Think of purging all of that stale air out of the body. Let's do two more, and then we'll bring it into the little dynamic twist, a soft little Mariachi Asana. Give me a soft T-frame on the mat with your palms down into the mat and bend your knees into a soft tabletop line. Take a big breath in, and on an exhale, float your knees just off center to the left as you softly rotate your head to the right. Inhale, come back to the center line and take it straight over on an exhale to the other side. You're going to rinse and repeat, gently dropping those knees side to side in a soft tick-tock fashion, and progressively bringing those knees closer to the floor, playing with about 5 or 6 iterations. And on each iteration, trying to drop those knees progressively closer to the floor, getting more rotation through the spine. Your knees are moving in one direction and your head is moving in the opposite direction. Getting an almost cradle rocking motion going in the lower back, releasing any tension while softly opening up and moving into a spinal twist. Move with your breath. Find the breath pattern that works for you. Play with it. Move with it. On your last iteration, I'm on about iteration 4 now, I would like you to bring those knees as close to the floor as you can and just hold a soft twist-like motion. Maybe placing your fingertips on the outside of the knee and just gently pushing down. Anchoring through your opposite shoulder. Inhale, bring it back, and exhale, take it to the other side. Come back towards the center line and drop both feet to the floor. Take it wide, maybe mat width distance apart. Take a big breath in, and on the exhale, drop both knees to the right as you look to the left. Inhale, bring it back. Drop both knees to the left as you look to the right. Do that twice more in your own time, using the exhale to soften, relax, and release, making those knees heavy to the floor as you drop them side to side. Last one, then we'll take it into a little dynamic bridge line before we roll it up. Heel toe your feet in so that they're stacking more or less hip width distance apart. Don't have the feet too far away from the body, so scooch them in closer towards your bum line. Arms at your sides, palms down. Neutral spine, so a nice little comfortable S-curve in your spine, allowing for a little bit of space between your lower back and the mat. Chin line nice and soft. Take a big breath in from neutral spine. On an exhale, tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position, beginning to imprint your lower back into the mat. And then start peeling up one vertebra at a time, disconnecting your bum from the mat and coming up nice and high on the shoulder blades. Taking a little pause in your bridge, activating through the glutes, the hamstrings and the quads, and checking that you've got more or less an even stack of your knees over your ankles. So don't have those feet too far away from the body. Then relax through the leg line and the glutes and peel back down one vertebra at a time, reconnecting to the mat. As you find your way back into neutral, gently hug your knees into the chest and cradle rock your lower back up. Let's do that one more time, and then we'll take it into some spinal rolls and play with sun salutation A. Connect your feet to the mat. Tilt your pelvis to the 12 o'clock position. Begin rolling up with control through the spine, articulating up one vertebra at a time, activating through the back chain of your legs. Chin tucked softly towards the chest as you find Setu Bandha bridge. Then peel back down, one vertebra at a time, connecting back to the mat with control, rounding and releasing your lower back before finding your bum cheeks, bringing it back to neutral spine. Gently hug the knees in towards the chest and cradle rock your lower back out. If you've got any back issues, if your back is tender today, stay here, gently rocking side to side, or take it into some soft spinal rolls. And we'll just keep it really basic today. Softening and placing your hands softly on the shins or bracing behind your thighs if you prefer. Nod your chin towards your chest and rock the weight up to come almost into a sitting position with your feet gently connected to the mat. Really softly. Find that inner root through your feet and your inner thighs. Nod your chin to your chest, round out your spine and C-curve. Allow momentum to tip your weight back off the tailbone and to drag you back as far as your shoulder blades and then back up. Finding that soft connect through your feet. If you've got a really strong inner thigh and lower abdominal connection, maybe you can hover those feet just off the mat. Round out, make sure that you're giving me a nice round spine so that you're not getting stuck on those knobbly bits of the spine as you gently rock back and forth. Let's do two more, and then we'll use momentum on the last one to come up. So brace your hands into the mat, push into them, find your way onto the haunches, feet more or less hip width distance apart, soften through the knees, and ragdoll roll up along the center line. Find your way towards the front end of your mat with a little bit of room to play behind you as we roll through a couple of rounds of Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar A, using it as our dynamic warm-up. Stack your feet in a comfortable samasthiti in parallel underneath your hips. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in, and float your hands to a gentle prayer position in front of your heart. Take a big breath in and float your hands overhead, taking a gentle back bend, and then exhale forward, bending the knees as much as you need to connect the hands to the mat and step back into a plank line. Push the floor strongly away with your hands. Give me a nice parallel line to the mat. And then drop to the knees, relax the feet. We're going to caterpillar down. Keep those elbows hugging in towards the center line as you bend them and hover your chin just off the floor for a second, giving me a modified chaturanga. And then gently ease your way onto the belly and set up a soft cobra line. Palms connected to the mat, elbows tucked in, pushing the mat strongly away and extending through your back. Stay or morph into up dog by pushing into the palms and the bridges of your feet and contracting through your core so that you've got a nice, strong and stable core and protecting that lower back. Then morph into a down dog, piking your bum up to the ceiling, and take your dog for a walk by bending the alternate knee and just starting to warm up the back chain of your legs. Step up the right leg and then the left, trying to stack underneath the hips as best as you can. Soften through the knees and ragdoll roll up to find your way back to your start position in mountain with your hands in prayer in front of the heart. Let's rinse and repeat, starting to go for flow with each successive round. Big breath in, take a back bend. Exhale and swan dive forward to connect your hands to the mat, softening through the knees as much as you need to step back into a plank. Drop to the knees, relax your feet, bend the elbows and caterpillar down, morphing into a cobra line, and then pushing into the palms and the bridges of your feet, finding a strong up dog. Tuck your toes under and take it for a walk as you ease into down dog. Step up the left leg and then the right, stacking underneath the hips and peeling up along the center line to find mountain with your hands in prayer. Big breath in, take a back bend. Exhale and fold forward. Step back into a plank line. Drop your knees to the mat, relax your feet. Bend through the elbows, controlling through the bicep and the tricep, easing your way into a cobra, and then pushing into the palms and the bridges of your feet for the up dog. Tuck your toes under, find a down dog frame, and walk it up. Step up the right leg and then the left, stacking underneath the hips and peeling up to find mountain. Hands in prayer in front of your heart. Big breath in, take a back bend. Exhale and fold forward. Ease back into a plank line. Drop the knees, relax the feet. Bend the elbows, caterpillar down, setting up a gentle cobra. Pushing into the palms and the bridges of your feet for the up dog. And then piking your bum up to the ceiling and taking your dog for a little walk. Step up left and then right. Let's do one more round. Peel up. Find mountain. Big breath in, take a back bend. Exhale and swan dive forward. Ease your way back into a plank. Drop to the knees, relax your feet. Bend the elbows, caterpillar down, setting up a cobra. And then pushing into the palms and the bridges of your feet. Tuck your toes under, ease into your down dog, walk it up. Step up the right leg and then the left. Peel up along the center line, easing your way into mountain. Last time on the left to complete the sequence. Big breath in, take a back bend. Exhale as you swan dive forward to step back into a plank. Drop to the knees, relax your feet. Bend the elbows and caterpillar down, finding your way into cobra. And then pushing into your up dog, strong through that core. Tuck your toes under, find your down dog frame and take it for a walk. Step up left and then right, finding your way to the front of the mat and peel up along the center line. Find your way into mountain and take a little breath here. From your mountain, we're going to step back with the left leg and find a warrior two line, Virabhadrasana 2. Take a big step back with your left leg as you windmill the arms open into a soft T-frame. Bend the lead leg and wiggle it forward as much as you need to line up your knee over your ankle. Opening up the arms into a soft T-frame. Check that your back foot is at a nice 90-degree angle. Drop as low as you can through the groin and extend through the fingertips, keeping your gaze steady over the front forefinger, looking to the wall at the opposite end of the room. We're going to reverse the warrior two. Focus on your front hand. Invert the palm up to the ceiling. Drop your back hand to your back leg and give me a soft wrap around. So we're going to be playing with some of those basic poses that we introduced on Monday and putting them into a little flow sequence. From your reverse warrior, we're going to find our way into a modified warrior three, a little balancing pose. Float the arms alongside the body and push off the back leg. Using the back toe for support if you need to. We're going to float the arms alongside the body today, giving me little aeroplane arms, either palms looking in towards your body line or rotated up to the ceiling. Trying to keep your shoulders and your hips as stacked to the floor as you can. Then float your right arm to the floor. If you can't connect to the floor, maybe using a block. Using the block in any dimension to find a lean in position, pushing into it, rotating on the top hip, and then opening up the top arm into a soft T-frame. Just play where you're comfortable as you find half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Then softly step the back leg up and find mountain. So feet just inside of hip width distance apart, soften through the knees as much as you need to ragdoll roll up and find your way back into Tadasana. Arms softly at your side, tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in and lengthen through those fingertips. We're going to repeat that sequence on the other side. Big breath in. On the exhale, take a big step back with your right leg. Find your warrior two frame and extend through the arms. Drop as low through the groin as you can. Really open up through the body as you find your way into your warrior two line, extending through both arms. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Great strengthening and conditioning pose. Invert your front hand, drop your back hand to your back leg and give me a soft wrap around, looking up towards the palm of that lead hand. That's your drishti, your focal point. From here, you're going to find your warrior 3 line. Gently bring the arms back down. Transfer the weight from your back leg to your front leg, floating the arms softly alongside your body, using your back toe to maybe kick off or find your balance. Giving me soft aeroplane arms through the body. Keeping your shoulders and your hips as stacked to the floor as you can. Then drop your left hand to the floor using the block if you need to. Rotate on the top hip, your right hip, trying to stack it softly on top of the left hip as you think of opening the arms into a gentle T frame. Maybe just keeping that back leg soft, maybe pointing the toes to the wall behind you or bracing into the foot if you prefer. Play with the movement and see what stokes your fire today. Gently take a step to the front of the mat, peel up along the center line and ease your way back into mountain. Take a big step back with the left leg and set up for me that warrior 2 line that you played with in the first round. But this time, take your lead hand and place it on the inside of your lead leg, dropping as low to the floor as you can. If the floor is not accessible for you, maybe reaching for your block and placing the block on the inside of your lead leg, finding a lean in position and opening up the top arm into a T frame. So just play where you're comfortable. Then let's play with that top arm. Bring the top arm over as if you were bringing it as close to your ear line as you can and think of piercing the wall at the opposite end of the room with your fingertips. Stay or play in a little bind. To play in the bind, focus on your bottom arm. Bend the elbow and tuck as much of the elbow and the shoulder through. Wrap the hand between the legs, palm behind your bum, and reach your top hand behind you to give me a little bear grip behind your back. If the bear grip is not possible, maybe taking a strap and using it between the 2 hands. Stay or bring it into a little balancing pose by heel-toeing the back leg in, walking it in incrementally, and stopping when your foot stacks under the hip. Transfer the weight from your front leg to your back leg. Find your balance first. And then see if you can peel up along the center line, keeping the bind behind your leg. Find your balance first, stacking your hip over your knee and your knee over your ankle on the anchoring leg. And then see if you can extend the front leg. Ease your way gently back to the front of the mat, finding mountain Tadasana. Arms soft and relaxed at your side. Take a moment just to take a breather. Big breath in. When you're ready, step back with the right leg and find that soft warrior 2-like frame. Then drop lower to the floor. Lead hand on the inside of the lead leg and the top arm in a soft T frame. dropping those hips as low to the floor as you're able to, using the block if you need to. Play with the side angle by bringing the top arm closer towards your ear. Think of piercing the wall with your fingertips at the opposite end of the room. Stay or play. Bend the bottom arm, tuck as much of the elbow and the shoulder through, wrapping around your bum, palm looking away. Take the top arm overhead and see if you can give me a little bear grip behind your back. To play, heel toe the back leg in, walk it in incrementally, and stop when your foot stacks underneath the hip. Transfer the weight from your front leg to your back leg. Take a moment to find your balance. When you feel stacked, peel up along the center line. Stack your shoulder over your hip over your knee, and your knee over your ankle. Once you feel comfortable there, see if extension on the lead leg is possible. Just play where you're comfortable. Ease your way gently back to the front of the mat, finding your mountain and taking some recovery breaths here. Tuck that tailbone under, pull your belly button in, lengthen the fingertips towards the mat. We're going to find a little triangle pose from here. Take a big step back with your left leg, but this time, instead of bringing the back leg to 90, I want you to bring the angle in slightly. So you can take a narrower stance if you like and extend both legs. So don't bend the lead leg. Give me a soft extended line and open up into that soft warrior two-like frame with the fingertips piercing the walls at opposite ends of the room. Gaze over your front hand and pretend somebody's pulling the front arm away from you. Popping the back hip out gently, hinge forward and see if you can find a resting spot on the inside of your leg. Push with the hand against the inside of the leg and come into a soft T-frame. If you've got the range of motion, you could drop the bottom fingertips or the whole hand to the floor and come into the T-frame. If the floor is not accessible, reach for a block. Use the block on the inside of the knee and find a lean-in position that's working for you. We're going to play with that triangle line, beginning in Utthita Trikonasana, open triangle. Bring that arm closer to your ear and try to give me a long line through your back hip and through the arm and the fingertips. Let's rotate the triangle, Parivritta Trikonasana. Take that extended arm and cross it over your lead leg, either holding onto the leg or placing your fingertips or your palm to the mat as you rotate and float your opposite arm up to the ceiling. If you're feeling really tight, you could use the block on the inside or the outside of the leg to find a grip position that's comfortable for you, and maybe float the opposite arm up into T. Play with it. Make a plan, as Tim Gunn says, make it work. Float softly back into your T-like frame with both legs extended and take a step to the front of the mat, finding Tadasana mountain. Tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in, lengthen through those fingertips. Take a big step back leg stepping to about a 45-degree angle, extending through both legs and windmilling the arms open into a T-frame. Big breath in, hinge forward as you think of somebody pulling that arm and set up your triangle frame. Either just gently pushing on the inside of the leg or connecting your fingertips or palms or palm to the mat as you open up the arms into a T-frame. Then bring that top arm closer to your ear and think of giving me a long line, a tabletop line, through the hip and the arm. Stay or come into full rotation, taking that extended arm, crossing it over the midline of the body to place your fingertips or your palm on the mat or to grab hold of your thigh as you rotate to float the opposite arm gently up towards the ceiling. Hold your rotated triangle. Keep rooting into both feet and check that the toes on the back foot have not disconnected from the mat. So rooting through that whole foot and using it to aid your torque, your twist. Softly come back up into your start frame and take a step to the front of the mat, easing into Tadasana. Take a recovery breath. We're going to work a little soft lunge line from here. Softly step back with the left leg, bending as much as you need to and maybe relaxing that back knee to the floor just to find your position on the mat first. Framing your lead leg. Creep forward if you need to and check that your knee and your ankle are aligned on the lead leg. Then gently peeling up along the center line and floating your hands to pray. Push into both palms, allow the elbows to softly track out and make sure that there is enough gentle pressure between those two palms so that you can feel your arms, your chest, your upper back and your shoulders are all connected and committed in the lunge line. So not just working legs, working arms at the same time. Keep those back toes tucked under for me. We'll float into a little monkey god, Ardha Hanumanasana. Gently drop your fingertips to the mat and walk your weight back till the back hip stacks over the knee. Disconnect the front toes from the mat and just softly round out through your spine, pushing your fingertips away on the mat and taking a little hamstring stretch. Keep your belly button curled in and almost give me a cat-like stretch through the back. Then creep your way back into your original lunge line. Find it. Float your hands to prayer, and if you can, bring the back knee up off the floor. Don't lean all of the weight into the lead leg, so push back into the back heel, trying to even out your body weight distribution and trying to drop the pelvic bones as low to the mat as you can. Stay or take it into a gentle twist by taking the left elbow, crossing over the midline of the body to place it on the outside of the right knee, pushing into your prayer hands and allowing the top elbow to softly track up towards the ceiling. Keep that belly button firmly pulled in. Ease your way back to the center line. Drop to the back knee, keep your back toe tucked under, come back into that little hamstring stretch, creeping your weight back till the hip stacks over the knee, disconnect the front toes from the mat, and this time maybe reaching for the whole foot, hugging it in towards your body and taking a nice little stretch here. Maybe lengthening out through the lower back and trying to bring your chin over your toes so that you feel even more of a stretch along the lower back area and intensify that stretch into the lead leg. Soften through the front knee and take a step to the front of your mat. Soften through the knees and ragdoll roll up, finding your way into mountain Tadasana. Tuck your tailbone under, lengthen through your spine and drop your fingertips to the mat while softly rooting through the feet. Feel totally connected to your mat. Let's rinse and repeat on side two. Take a big step back with your right leg, dropping your fingertips to the mat, relax your back knee, keep the toes tucked under. Check that alignment on the lead leg. So wiggle the foot forward if you need to. Peel up along the center line and float your hands into prayer. Keep that back toe tucked under and almost tilt your pelvis softly to the 12 o'clock position so that you can feel a nice little stretch in the hip flexor on the right. Frame your lead leg with your fingertips. Walk your weight back till the right hip stacks over the right knee. Disconnect the left toes from the mat, pointing them up to the ceiling and finding your first monkey god. Rounding out softly, cat stretching through the back and fusing your belly button to your spine. So suck that gut in. Creep your way back to the front of the mat. Float your hands back into prayer. Staying here or bringing the back knee up off the floor. Push back into the back heel. Feel that opening happening through the inner thighs and the groin. And then stay here along the center line or take it into a little twist by crossing the right elbow over the midline of the body to tuck on the outside of the left knee. Don't lean into the front, so push back into that back heel and make sure that you're evening out your body weight distribution as you come into the twist. Find your way back towards the midline of the body. Drop your fingertips to the mat, relax your back knee, walk your weight back, find your little hamstring stretch, maybe holding on to the lead foot with both hands if you can, and this time almost straightening up through the back line, trying to bring your chin over the toes on the edge of your mat so that you can feel more work along the back. Take a little step to the front of the mat and ease your way back into mountain. Softly ragdolling up along the center line to find Tadasana. We're going to work one more lunge line and we're going to take it straight into a crescent lunge, Untitled. Take a big step back with your left leg and try to keep the back leg off the mat if you can. Otherwise, drop to the knee if you need a little bit of support. See if you can float both of your hands overhead, giving me a slight crescent shape through the back and opening up through the palms as if you were saying hello to the new sunshiny day. Drop your fingertips softly to the mat. Relax your back knee and relax onto the bridge of your foot. Walk your weight back, disconnecting your front toes from the mat and either staying here nice and high off the mat, focusing on that stretch through the lead leg, or walk your weight back and see if you can wrap your bum cheeks around the back heel, sitting up nice and tall. Back view. As you come into position, wrap your bum cheeks around that back heel and see if you can find a nice seat here. If you feel off center, maybe taking your block and tucking it underneath the right bum cheek as you sit up nice and tall. Wherever you're playing, take a big breath in and float your hands overhead. And then see if you can fold forward to connect to that lead foot. If the foot is not accessible and you do have a strap at hand, you can just loop the strap around your foot. If you've got a little D-ring that allows you to make a little a secure little loop in your strap, you can place that around the foot and hold on to the strap to intensify that stretch. So just play where you're comfortable, trying to keep that seat on the back heel. Let's creep our weight back to the top of the mat. Step up the back leg, feet in parallel underneath your hips. Ragdoll, roll up, restacking and realigning your torso. Think shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankle. Tuck that tailbone under. Stand up nice and tall and find your root in mountain. Take a big breath in and step back with the right leg. Opening up, trying to keep that back heel off the floor as you float the hands overhead, coming into full crescent lunge, Anjana-asana. Pushing weight back into that back heel, giving me a slight crescent shape from the back. Think of floating the two shoulder blades together behind your back and expanding laterally as much as you can through the chest. Then drop your fingertips to the mat. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Walk your weight back, either stopping when the hip stacks over the knee to just gently extend and brace into the front foot, or keep walking the weight back, finding a seat on your back heel and wrapping your bum cheeks around the heel. Using the block and placing it underneath your bum cheek on the left. If you can't quite even out through the hips, take a big breath in. And on the exhale, using strap or no strap, fold forward and try to bind to that lead leg. Thinking nose to knee, working a modification of Janusasana, head to knee. Hold that little stretch. Try to even out through the hips as much as you can. So try not to drop lower on the left bum bone. Try to keep those hips nice and even to the floor as best you can. Creep your way softly to the front of the mat when you're ready and step back into mountain. Stepping your feet into parallel, softly ragdoll rolling up. So keeping a nice micro bend in the knees as you restack and realign. Think shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankle. Take a big breath in and float your hands overhead, coming into Hastasana, taking a soft little back bend. And then swan dive forward, bending through the knees if you need to connect the hands to the mat. Step or take a little hop back, coming into down dog. Settle into your down dog. Hands more or less shoulder width apart, feet hip width distance apart. Pushing into both hands, pushing into both feet. I want you to try and stretch the front and the back chain of your body. Try and drop those heels as close to the floor as you can. Let's find a three-legged dog on the right. Soften the right knee and kick up the right leg behind you, bracing into that heel. Let's set up a pigeon line. Swing that right knee through, keeping the knee in line with your hip or slightly wider. Rotate the foot end. Find the angle on the lead leg that works for you. Drop the lead leg to the mat. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Slide or creep the back foot away from you and even out through the hips. So don't drop and lean into your right bum bone. We're working a high pigeon line. And we're going to take it into a twist, but we'll get there incrementally. So just keep your fingertips softly connected to the mat, using that front foot almost as a half a triangle line to find your footing in the mat. If you feel insecure here, maybe taking your block and placing your right bum cheek on the knife edge portion of the block, more or less where your bum crease is, and just find a little lean in position that works for you. I'll play with it there today so that you can actually ease your way into the twist. So if you feel not too confident about the twist, start with the block. The block will help you to get there. So find a little lean in position with the block and your fingertips softly placed on the floor. Then creep your right hand over, placing it where the left fingertips are, and look over the left shoulder to grab same hand to foot and see if you can grab that foot. If you've managed to connect to the foot, see if you can pull up along your inner thighs and lift up off that block. So the bum cheek comes up off the block. See if you can just gently hug that foot in and look over that shoulder to the back foot. Just keep your first twist nice and soft. Come back to the center line, leaning back into the block if you need to. Maybe floating the hands behind you, interlacing the hands, making a little fist and dropping that fist down between your bum cheeks. Find your original position on the mat with your fingertips connected to the mat. Walk over to the left, look over that back shoulder, reach for the foot. Pull the foot in even closer and lift up off the block. If your balance is there, if you've made that inner thigh connection, bring your right hand off the mat and grab opposite hand to foot. Float the left arm behind your back to wrap around your back and bring the fingertips to the inside of the right thigh, coming into a gentle twist and hopefully having peeled up your right bum cheek off that block. Gently unbind, leaning back into your block, squaring up through the shoulders and the hips, floating those hands behind you, making a little fist opening up through the chest. The last one, we're going to bring it into a little king pigeon. Bring your fingertips to the mat, creep them over to the left. Reach for that back foot, find your lift up off the block. See if you can grab opposite hand to foot, bend the left elbow, make a little resting spot for your crook, in the crook of the arm for your foot. And then reach the right arm behind you, think surrender, place it behind your head, and see if you can give me a little bear grip, maybe connecting those fingertips behind your neckline. If that's not working for you, maybe just try to find that position and open up the arms softly. All right, when you've had enough, peel back to the mat, feed the block out from underneath your bum, and lean all of the weight into the right bum cheek. Reach for that back leg, swing it over the bent front knee. We're coming into half Lord of the Fishes. Wiggle your right foot out of the way so that there's space for both of your bum bones to equally connect to the mat. Ground your whole front foot into the mat. Take a big breath in and place your right elbow on the outside of the left knee, coming into a little stop sign, looking over that back shoulder to the floor behind you. Check that your bum bones are equally weighted into the mat and that you're not leaning aggressively into the right bum bone as you come into the twist. From here, we're going to bring it into heron pose. So as you pivot to face the front of the mat, tuck your right heel in as close to the perineum as you can and reach both hands for the undercarriage of your left foot, or take your strap and place it around the foot so that you've got some leverage if you know that you can't extend the leg out in front, holding on to that foot. Keep that right heel tucked in as close to the perineum as you can and try not to round out through the spine. So try to lengthen from your tailbone to the crown of your head while holding on to the undercarriage of your foot if you can. Then hold on to the left foot with your left hand, so same hand to foot, and just softly come into a gentle twist to the right, placing the right fingertips softly on the floor behind you, but don't lean into that arm and hang off your tailbone. I want you to lengthen your crown up to the ceiling as if there was a little piece of string pulling your spine up to the ceiling. So you're actually using your powerhouse, that soft inner thigh connection and that pull up from the pubis to hold your frame nice and high. Then take your twist in the opposite direction, reaching opposite hand to foot, finding a grip position maybe on the side of that foot, and floating the left fingertips to the floor behind you. Once again, not leaning off the tailbone, so lengthening through your crown to the ceiling and engaging your powerhouse to hold your body weight. We're going to find our way into rock the baby from here, Tadasana. So bend your extended lead leg. Give me a bend on the right elbow, front view. Place that foot into the crook of your arm, wrapping around the foot to maybe interlace the hands and rock your baby, or just hold onto the knee and brace the shin, playing where you're comfortable as you rock your baby. Alrighty. From here, you're going to ease your way into a gate line, extend that left leg along the mat, and take that right foot, placing it on the inside of the left leg. Take a big breath in, floating your hands overhead, and on the exhale, fold forward, thinking nose to knee, binding around the foot or using your strap, or even taking your block maybe and placing the block on the inside of your leg and finding a forearm stack position that allows you to softly fold forward. Just play with it, see what works for you as you come into gate Paringasana. Peel softly up along the center line and place your left elbow on the inside of the left knee, dropping your forearm to the mat, or placing the block on the inside of the leg and finding a lean-in position. I want you to push with the back of your elbow against the inside of the knee and float the top arm softly into a T-frame. Keep actively pushing with that left elbow to the inside of the knee so that you can feel that resistance as you just open up the top arm. Float back up along the center line. Tuck the legs underneath you, maybe finding your way into a little butterfly line. Soles of the feet together, knees open. Use your elbows to push and open up through the knees as you softly fold forward. Round out the spine if you need to, or lengthen, bringing your chin over your toes. Work into the areas of tightness that you've identified. Then place the fingertips softly on the mat behind you. Think of bringing the knees together and walking your way onto the haunches, coming into a soft forward fold and peeling up along the center line to find your way back into Tadasana, mountain. Find your stack, hips over knees, knees over ankles. Big breath in, float your hands overhead, giving me a gentle back bend as you come into a little Hastasana. Swan down forward, bending the knees as much as you need to connect the hands to the mat, and take a little hop or step back and ease your way into your down dog frame. Pushing into your hands and feet simultaneously, using the down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, to take an awesome stretch into all those nooks and crannies. Soften the left knee and kick up the left leg behind you into a three-legged dog. Try to even out through the hips and the shoulders as you find Tripada Adho Mukha Svanasana, three-legged dog. Let's set up our pigeon line. Bend the left leg, swing it through. Find the angle on the lead leg that works for you. Relax it to the mat. Release the back knee, release the back foot. Creep or slide the back leg away and think of evening out through the hips. Use the block to help with your twists if you feel a little bit insecure on the mat. So tuck the block underneath your bum so that it's just resting on the bum crease. Even out through the shoulders and the hips as you find your pigeon line. Ekapada Prayaka Putasana, one-legged pigeon. All right, let's creep the left hand over, place it where the right hand is. Look over the right shoulder, bend the back leg, and just think of trying to hug the foot in towards the center line. Maybe bringing it in gently and releasing if you're particularly tight through the quads or the hamstrings. Try to soften the hamstrings and the glute so that you can hug that leg in. Then relax the back leg and come back to your original high pigeon line. Floating the hands behind you, squeezing the two shoulder blades together as you make a little fist and drop it down between your bum cheeks. Ease your way back to the mat. Cross the left hand over the midline of the body. Look over the right shoulder. See if you can find that grip. Pull the foot in closer to the bum. See if you can cross opposite hand to foot. Using those inner thighs to get a lift off the block. And then taking the right arm, wrapping it behind your back and reaching with the fingertips for the inside of that left thigh. Play with the twist, stopping anywhere that you need to. So keep it small if you need to. Play where you're comfortable. Unwrap and ease your way back into your original high pigeon, leaning into that block if you need to. Float the hands behind you, giving me that little fisted line, slightly crescent shape through the back. Last one, you ready to try that little king pigeon? All right, walk your left hand over, look over the right shoulder, grab same hand to foot, and then bend your right elbow, find a resting spot in the crook of your right arm, bring the left arm behind your back, and see if you can bring the hands into a little bear grip, trying to squeeze those inner thighs and maybe ease your bum off that block if you can. Playing where you're comfortable. When you're ready to uncouple, ease that block out from underneath your bum. Lean into the left bum, look over the right shoulder, grab hold the right foot and step it over the left knee. All of your weight is going to be centered into the left bum bone, so I'm exaggerating the movement now. I want you to wiggle the left foot out the way and bring your body line back to center. Try to root through the whole front foot, so try to give me weight into the big toe, the baby toe, as well as the heel of your foot. Then place the left fingertips on the floor behind you. Take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee, making a little stop sign, lengthening through the spine and checking that your right bum bone is still grounded to the mat, that it hasn't come up off the mat. Try not to lean aggressively back into the arm, so lengthen through the spine as much as you can. From here, we're going to gently bring it into that heron line. So gently, consciously uncouple. You're going to tuck that left heel in as close to the perineum as you can. Bend the lead leg, your right leg. Reach for the undercarriage of your foot. Use the strap around the foot if you need to. And think boat. So almost tipping the weight off your tailbone as you extend the leg out in front. Try not to round out and hang off your tailbone. So give me a nice high boat line. Almost bracing into that foot as if you were kicking the wall in front of you and giving me as much extension through that leg as you can manage. Let's take a same side twist. So you're going to grab right hand to right foot and just softly give me an open twist, placing the fingertips gently on the floor behind you, keeping the belly area nice and open. Then take the twist in the opposite direction. If you're pregnant, stay here, keeping the belly open, not constricting the belly. Let's cross over opposite hand to foot. Place the left fingertips on the floor behind you, lengthening and checking that your bum bones are still equally weighted into the mat as you come into the little heron twist. Parivrtta Krachasana. Ready to rock the baby? Come back towards the center line, giving me a little bend in the right arm. Make a nice little crook. Place or insert right foot into left crook. Find your little wraparound, either just holding onto the knee or interlacing the hands as you find a little rocking position for your baby, coming into Hindulasana. And then from here, you're going to find your way into your gate line, extending the right leg out on the mat in front of you and tucking the left foot to the inside of the right leg. I'm going to change my orientation on the mat so that you can see my leg line. Take a big breath in. On the exhale, fold forward to wrap around the foot, maybe using the strap around the foot if you need to, using it for extra leverage, or taking your block, placing it on the inside of the knee and finding a soft stack through the forearms that allows you to gently fold forward. Hold your gate line, Paringasana. Thinking nose to knee and just relaxing your chest to the top of that right thigh. Then peeling up along the center line to place your right elbow and forearm on the mat, pushing down strongly and pushing with the arm on the inside of the leg, or using the block and shifting it out as much as you need to be able to connect to the floor. Try to have that elbow on the inside of the knee so that you can push and resist against the legs, so that you can really feel that little oppositional stretch as you float the top arm gently up to the ceiling. Just think soft T-frame through the top arm and brace into that foot as you come into a gentle twist. From here, you're going to ease your way into a soft butterfly line, bringing the soles of both feet together, allowing the knees to drop out, maybe placing the hands on the floor behind you, and then incrementally wriggling or rolling forward on the bum so that you can bring your pubic bone systematically closer to the heels of your feet. Sitting up nice and tall in your little butterfly line, lengthening through the spine. Bring your focus back to your belly center. Maybe gently close the eyes and take your focus in. Think of the little fire that you stoked in your belly. Feel it radiating out to the rest of your body. So make enough space in the torso for that fire. Fuel that fire of confidence and allow that confidence to remain with you for the rest of the day. Gently tuck to easy sit and overlay one palm over the other over your belly center, dropping the shoulders away from your ears, connecting once more to the gentle inhalation and exhalation. Hear that soft sound. Try and keep the inhalation and exhalation at a gentle 1-to-1 inhalation to exhalation ratio. Keep the shoulders softly dropping away from the ears. Feel that root through the mat, through your bum bones, and feel that length begin to happen through the spine, as if there was a little piece of string gently pulling you up to the ceiling. End off your practice by just gently nodding your chin to your chest. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. I really hope that you enjoyed today's energetic fire sequence. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Shoot me your comments in the comments box and make sure you are subscribed to my channel with your notification bell on. I shall see you all for playtime on the mat tomorrow for our Pilates conditioning. Until then, keep it light.